Hello there. Welcome to the Aligned Life podcast. Hope you're doing amazing today. So, we're going to talk about why do people not reach their goals. This morning, when I was just kind of cleaning up, this thought was popping into my head around a few people who have been feeling like they are struggling with certain areas of their life. Sorry, I'm just organizing my screens as I'm talking with you. And so I was thinking about what are some of the common things that can block people from creating the results they want, from reaching their goals. And so I've got 7 here that I'm going to share with you, and we'll see if anything else comes to me as we're talking. So, the first thing that I thought about why people don't reach their goals is that they care too much about what other people think. And I would say that this is probably, everyone could struggle with all of them or have like one that's maybe the biggest, but I think this one is massive for everyone. We get really caught up in what people think about us. We worry that people are judging us or criticizing us or making fun of us or thinking that, we're silly for wanting things. And so lots of people wouldn't even maybe claim that they have goals or that they want more for themselves because it feels too vulnerable to share that with other people. So if you are caring what other people think, you're literally putting them as a higher priority than yourself in your life, right? You're making them more of a priority and what you think that they think about. One of the books that you've heard me talk about many times on the podcast is the book The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And his 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally, and always do your best. Literally, we could talk about how these apply to every single topic that we talk about on the podcast. But specifically for this week's episode, why do people not reach their goals? The first one being they care too much about what other people think of them. And we can really think about how the agreement, sorry, I couldn't think of the word, how the agreement, don't make assumptions, applies to this, right? So people assume that other people are thinking about them. And you could call it a thought error or whatever you want to call it. The fact of the matter is, most people are not actually even thinking about you. You're just worried that they're thinking about you. And I've also heard this many times, especially with shadow work um, teachings, is that what you worry other people think about you is really what you think about you. And I think that this has some truth and validity to it. And so I would, of course, I'm going to encourage you to make this practical. I would grab your journal and I would ask myself, what do I worry that people think about me? And then I would write down, I would just make a list of all the things that come to my mind about what I'm worrying people are thinking about me when it comes to me pursuing my goals in life. So if I have a specific goal, maybe let's say I've been inactive, I haven't prioritized my health, I maybe surround myself with other people who don't have their own health and wellness practice and routine, and I keep having this desire to make my health a priority this year. I keep having this like ping basically coming up in me that's like, you should start a fitness routine. You should start focusing on eating healthier foods, and I keep feeling like this is something that I should focus on, but no one else around me cares about it. Maybe people even make fun of people who care about it that are surrounding me. And so I should grab my journal, like I said, write down what I am worried that these people are going to think about me. And then I would turn around and ask myself, do I think this about me? So a lot of times we hide our own self-judgments or self-criticism in like almost kind of like putting it on other people. But we can really learn a lot when you think about it from the view of like, is this what I think about me? So sometimes we judge other people as well for them pursuing things that we actually wish we would pursue for ourselves. So if somebody has maybe the job or the title or the money, the impact that you wish you had, you might find yourself maybe engaging in gossip or evil speech with your friends around this person and maybe judging them or kind of making fun of them or whatever because you want that for yourself, but it's too painful that you don't have it. And so you might attack this person. And this is very common. Like, I know that you might think, oh, I would never do that, or that would never be me, or whatever, but it's a very common thing that people do, even just slightly, right? You make just a slight sarcastic comment. All of that matters. So you can't be judging other people, gossiping about other people, making those types of sarcastic comments about other people and think that, oh, well, I can do it to them, but other people aren't going to do it to me or whatever, right? You need to be in full integrity. So if you don't want people to judge you, you don't want people to be criticizing you, then you need to make sure that you're not doing that to other people because it's it's karma, right? And sometimes karma doesn't always come back in the same way. Like, I judge someone, so they're going to judge me. It's not always that way, although sometimes it is, and it's not always instant either, right? It could take years to come back. It could take lifetimes for it to come back. But you want to be in full integrity and know that you are doing your part in this time, in this lifetime, for you to be clean in your energy and not give anyone a reason to do that to you. Also in Kabbalah, they talk about how you really want to be guarding, but and maybe that's not even the right word to use, but I'm just going to go with it, guarding your blessings. So that's a way that you can protect yourself energetically. So go out there and pursue all the things that you want to pursue and achieve, more and more for yourself in all of the areas of your life. But then you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself energetically and that you're not flaunting it or not bragging about it and not showing off or using, your blessings to think that you're better than other people, because that's a way that your blessings can actually be taken from you because you are not doing your part to be in clean energy essentially with those things. So always remember that as well, is that you want to work towards the things that you desire in life, and then make sure that you're doing your part to protect the blessings that you do receive so that more can come to you. You want to essentially show universe, God, source, that you are a worthy recipient of blessings in all forms and all ways. So remember that you do not get to decide what other people think, even if it's about you. Dr. Wayne Dyer talks about this as well. He says that you will go out, if you meet 100 people, you will go out and you will have 100 different reputations. And none of those reputations are your responsibility. You can't control any of them. So really work on detaching and letting it go and just being ethical, being who you know yourself to be, so that at least I'm doing my part. I'm trying to be as good of a person as I can be. And if anyone takes anything I say or anything I do in the wrong way, or if anyone wants to judge me, that's essentially their karma, and they're the ones that are going to have to deal with that and reap the benefits or the consequences, I should say, of their judgments or of their evil eye or of their criticisms. And I can't spend my time trying to, go around to this person and this person and this person and make sure that they don't think negatively about me, because it would obviously just be impossible. And lots of times people aren't even truthful anyways, right? No one usually has the courage to say negative things to your face. They're probably going to say it behind your back if they're going to say it. And just remember that anyone who does that, it says more about them than it says about you if they are talking about you. And so just let it be where it is, and let people deal with the consequences of that. But you can't live your life holding yourself back because of what other people will think of you, because eventually you're going to get to a point in your life. Lots of times I hear it from like 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old people that say, I just don't care what people think of me anymore. And like, we don't have to wait. If you're 20 years old listening to this, or 30 years old listening to this, you don't have to wait another 20 years for you to get to that point. You can actually decide that now and work on really meaning that now in your life. And instead of waiting another 10, 20, 30 years for you to get to that point, maybe naturally, and then you've kind of like wasted that time, right? Imagine what 20 years of working towards your goals could do for you. Could do a lot. That's a lot of time. So don't let yourself get to that point. And now is always the best time. I say this often. Now is always the best time. It doesn't get easier the more you put off your growth. The more you put off your goals, it does not get easier. If anything, it actually gets harder because you're giving yourself more time to continue on with those old habits and old ways of being. You're cementing them more and more into your subconscious. So it's always the best time right now, the time that you have an idea to do something, to pursue more, to be more. It's always the best time to do it now. Number 2, they don't want to experience small failure, so they end up experiencing the ultimate failure, which is not pursuing their goals. So a lot of times people are scared of failing. And one thing that I have heard from many people who are a lot further ahead of me in their own life and personal growth journey is that failure is actually a part of the path to success. So stop seeing failure as this separate thing and success as another thing, or the thing that we all want. Failure, if you think about a path, like think about a dirt path or a stone path or whatever, and see, yeah, a stone path is a great way to think of this. So see failure as part of those stones on the path. It's actually a part of the path to success. Success meaning the end of the path, the realization, the final result that you want to achieve. You have these stones that are called failures on the path. So if you don't have your end result, if you haven't reached your goal yet, it's just because you haven't failed enough times yet. And failure isn't a bad thing. Failure is just a part of success. So stop holding yourself back because you're scared of failure. Failure really is actually the best way to get feedback. I've said this to you guys before as well on the podcast, is that you will learn so much more through failure than you will from success. So failure actually gives you something to analyze and to think about, and to like pick apart and see what didn't go well. Success, you don't always have that same opportunity. Like, of course, you can see things that have gone well to create that result, but there's a lot that you can learn from yourself in failure, and especially a lot that you can learn about yourself in your mindset and your belief systems. So don't give yourself the opportunity to have the ultimate failure, which is never pursuing your goals. Just allow yourself to have those small failures of things not going your way, and whether that's days, weeks, months, or even years of failure, that at least you are pursuing your goals. At least you can say, like Brene Brown says, that you're in the arena and you're pursuing your goals, compared to all those other people who are holding themselves back, who are not pursuing their goals because they're scared of what people think or scared of experiencing failure. At least you're doing the work. At least you're putting in effort. And again, according to Kabbalah, they say that like if you're putting in maximum effort, which we're going to talk about in a second here, if you're putting in that maximum work and maximum effort, God, source, creator will help you. But it wants to see that you're doing your part. You have to do your part to get the results that you want, right? You can't just sit around and pray for it. You need to actually put in physical work. And remember, the physical effort that you put in is actually what creates the sense of fulfillment in your life. If you're not feeling fulfilled, you're not putting in the effort that you could be, and because that effort is what creates long-lasting fulfillment. Okay. Number 3, they don't stick with the process long enough. So I've said this many times before as well. Most people get an idea in their head of like, okay, if I want to, let's say, run a 10K in, let's say, under an hour, maybe that's your goal. I want to run 10 kilometers under 1 hour. So you do, I don't know, a 7-week, 8-week training plan to run a 10K in under an hour. Let's say that your race day comes and you run the 10K and you ran it in an hour and 3 minutes. So essentially, you didn't reach your goal, you failed, right? So people will take that feedback and they'll say, I guess I don't have what it takes, right? And that's one way to look at it. And if you want to look at life that way, I mean, go ahead. It's you free will. You can do whatever you want. But you could also think to yourself, okay, well, I can do it again. I can run another 8-week process or 8-week training plan and try it again, right? So stick with the process long enough for you to actually reach your goal. If it matters to you, then do it until you get the result that you want. But most people don't do that because, again, it comes back to number 2. They don't want to experience failure because of what they make it mean about themselves. That's really why people don't want to have failure, is because they make it mean that they are the failure when it's not true. Obviously, it's just that you haven't reached the goal that you want for yourself. So you have to be able to separate you from a thing, from a result, right? You are not a failure, but you just didn't get the result that you wanted. You didn't get the outcome that you wanted. So stick with the process for as long as it takes. And I've told you guys that again on the podcast, that if I have a goal, my thought process is I obviously want it. It's obviously something that keeps coming up for me. I believe that because I want it, it's actually the fulfillment of the desire that I have that's sending me the desire to want it. So that means that it's possible. That means it's out there, let's say in the future, even though time is an illusion, but that's another episode for a different day. But essentially, it's the fulfillment of it that's causing me to desire it. So I have what it takes. It's meant for me because I desire it, and the universe would never give you a desire if you didn't have what it takes to accomplish it. Doesn't mean that it won't take time and effort, and you won't have failure and all of those types of things, but you do have what it takes. So we'll talk about that in a second as well, with the next one about having certainty energy. So you have to believe that it's possible for you and just choose to stick with it long enough for you to get the result. And that's just a mindset that you can adopt. You can adopt that mindset at any time, that if I want something, I'm going to keep working towards it no matter how long it takes me for me to accomplish the thing. Number 4, they don't give maximum effort. So we kind of talked about this, but we'll talk about it a little bit more too. Maximum effort is, I think about it, I think I just shared this on Instagram actually this morning. So a couple, you're listening to this possibly on Monday, so it's a couple days ago. But I was talking about how there's different types of maximum effort. So you want to think about your energy, which is really a combination, I guess you could say, of your thoughts and your feelings. You want to get in maximum mental effort, which really is certainty and belief energy, and we'll talk about that one next. And you want to put in maximum physical effort, meaning, meaning, I'll say this, it's not like you can always spend, every waking moment of your day towards this goal, but maximum physical effort with what is available to you at this point in your life. So, you're listening to this, you might be a mom and have kids activities, and you're a wife and you're working and you have household duties to take care of, and you have other things that you also focus on in your life. So what does maximum physical effort look like to you, right? It's always going to be different for each person depending on what other responsibilities you have in your life. So what does maximum physical effort look like? And for a lot of people, because not many people have proper role models to show us what really pursuing goals looks like, and really living an aligned life looks like. So you want to remember that what you think is maximum effort is probably not even maximum effort, because that's just based on your perception at this point in time. But if you surrounded yourself with people who have accomplished amazing, amazing results in their life, whether it's physical feats, like I think about people like, for example, Rich Roll, and like other people who have done crazy, let's say, running or fitness accomplishments, or people who have created maybe physical products. Like I think about Mary Ruth Organics, right? People who have, like Oprah Winfrey, who have had lots of adversity against them and they've created their own network. Like people who have created amazing things in their life, the amount of effort and also belief, and we'll talk about that, that they have is much different than the amount of belief that maybe you or I might put into something. And when we think that we're working hard and we're putting in maximum effort, chances are it's not even close to maximum effort. So I say that not for you to criticize yourself, not for you to make yourself wrong. I only say that for you to really question how hard you're working, because we can tell ourselves we're working really hard, and I have done this so many times where I'm like, oh, I'm working so hard, how come it's not working, right? And it's like, are you really working that hard? Are you really giving it your all? Are you really in belief energy? Are you really doing everything that it takes, or are you doing the easiest things that are still hard for you, right? Because there's a lot of things that I could think of for me to do that I'm just scared still to do them. So really question what maximum effort is for you, and think about the other things, right? Are you putting in maximum effort, or are you still caring what people think, and so you're not really putting in maximum effort, right? There's other things impact each of these points that I'm making. Okay, number 5, not in certainty energy. So I said here as well in my notes, who you surround yourself with impacts this majorly. So certainty energy or belief or um, faith, whatever you want to call it, is essentially it's it's having like a knowing that it's done, even if it's not done, right? And especially when it's not done, you know that it's possible. You not even that it's possible, but you know that it's going to happen. And that is something that takes a lot of mindset work for you to get to that point, but it's absolutely essential, especially like the bigger the goal that you want. And according to law of attraction, doesn't matter, right? Abraham Hicks always says it's just as easy to manifest a button as it is to manifest a castle. It's just our mindset believing that a button is easy to manifest and a castle is hard because it's a big thing or whatever is what separates the two. So know that you think that bigger things are going to be harder and take more time, because that's the way that our brains are naturally kind of like conditioned to think, and that something small is going to be easier. It's really just your mind that is showing you the limitation. But regardless, you want to have certainty no matter what it is that you want. But the more the quote unquote bigger the thing is in your mindset, and again, this is why I said who you surround yourself matters so much, because if you're surrounding yourself, like I said, with people who aren't working towards their goals, then you creating a lofty goal for yourself is going to seem absolutely ridiculous to these other people, and it's going to impact how you show up in life because you're worried what these people think about you. If they don't have certainty, it's going to be a lot harder for you to have certainty. Trust me when I say that you don't need other people to believe in you, but it is a lot easier for you to reach your goals when you have at least one other person believing in you. The power of belief is so transformational. So, this is why coaching is really, really important, because when you're creating something that you've never created or accomplished before in your life, you don't have belief yet, right? You've never done it. You hope that you can do it. You think that you might be able to do it, but you might not have that belief yet. You might not even know how to believe in yourself yet. And so having someone else to help you believe in you, to encourage you, to support you, to keep you accountable is so powerful and helpful. So surround yourself with the right people. And it doesn't mean that you have to, stop being friends with certain people, but you really might want to have a look at how much time and energy you give to these people and how that is impacting your life and what you really want to accomplish and get out of this life for yourself. So number 6 is they aren't in alignment. So they're pursuing things that aren't truly a match for them. I will say, and I'm sure that you can agree with me, that in this world of Instagram and influencers and all this stuff, that there's so many people that are so fake. I find it, if I'm being honest, a little bit nauseating, and I find it hard to. I feel like if you are not clear in your own ethics and morals and direction, that it would be, I'm not surprised that people get swept up into things because they just follow what other people are doing. So many people just follow what other people are doing. And it's a way to waste a lot of time, and eventually you're going to wake up one day and think to yourself, I'm not even on the path that I want to be on for myself. So make sure that you are pursuing things that are actually in alignment to you, right? Like, do you actually care about creating this result? Do you actually care about the goal that you think that you're setting for yourself, or are you just setting it because somebody told you to pursue it or other people are pursuing it? Like, does it actually matter to you? This is, again, why the people that you surround yourself with is so important, because if you're surrounded by a lot of people that are fake, inauthentic, and not like you really are in your morals and ethics, then you're going to get swept up in the wrong things that will take you down the wrong path, that will have you pursuing the wrong things, that will never give you the feeling that you are ultimately after, which is the reason that we pursue everything that we pursue, is because of how we think it's going to make us feel. So remember that and really do an audit of who you spend time with in your life. Okay, last one, number 7. They don't have clarity. So kind of, the same in a sense as number 6. You aren't in alignment or you don't have clarity. A lot of people, if I was to ask you right now, what do you want? What is the one thing? If you have to just, like, some people might have like 100 things that they want. And I feel like in a sense that can be a bit me as a manifesting generator. And I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But I am saying that there is a lot of power in pursuing and putting all of your energy and focus into one thing, getting some momentum going, and then pursuing other things. If you're a manifesting generator like me and you have a desire for having lots of things going on in your life and having lots of balls up in the air. So back to the first group of people, that if I was to ask you right now, what is the one thing that you want? Would you even be able to tell me? Or would you be like, oh, well, I know what I don't want, and it's this, and it's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. Okay, well, what is it that you do want? And have the vulnerability and the self-worth to choose a goal for yourself and to want more for yourself. And I said this yesterday, want more for yourself, because in the pursuit of you going after the more, the quote unquote more, you will have to become more. It doesn't mean that you're not enough right now. I'm just saying that you will need to become a bigger person than you currently are. And this is good. All of life is growth. Life needs to move towards growth. There's a law of transformation. We need to keep growing. We need to keep pursuing things in our life and keep becoming more and more authentic and more of who we came here to be. And this is a process over time. So want things, be clear in what you want and what you're working towards right now. Connect with why it matters to you. Why is it important for you to have this? Why is it important for you to become this or do this? And hold that in the front of your mind and be really clear, because if you're not clear and you can't explain it clearly to someone, then certainly you're not clear to the universe, because the universe is just picking up on your vibration. So it's fine if you are in confusion. I want to also say that. And in Kabbalah, they also talk about confusion being a really good thing, because it's actually like giving you an opportunity to drop the ego when we're confused and we're like, oh my goodness, my life is maybe feels like it's in shambles and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what I want and everything feels up in the air. This is also a time where your ego is like rock bottomed and you can be more authentic if you choose to take that opportunity to be that way. So confusion can be a good thing, and we're all going to experience it at certain points in our life. So you're not wrong if you are experiencing confusion, but also be clear in what you want. So if you're like, okay, well, I know what I don't want, perfect. That's a great place to be. What do you want then? And I remember so clearly thinking that to myself. I know what I don't want because I am experiencing it right now. And it helped me more than anything. It's like failure, right? It helped me more than anything get clear on what I did want, because I was experiencing the pain of not having it. And pain can be a great messenger, a great teacher for us. So those are the 7 things. Just to recap really quickly. Number 1, you're caring too much about what other people think. Number 2, you don't want to experience small failure, so you're ending up experiencing the ultimate failure, which is not pursuing your goals. Number 3, you're not sticking with the process long enough. Number 4, you're not giving maximum effort. This is mental, spiritual, emotional, energetic, physical. There's lots of effort that we need to put into things. Number 5, not in certainty energy. Number 6, you aren't in alignment. You're pursuing things that you don't really care about, that really aren't for you, that really aren't part of your alignment. And number 7, you don't have clarity. You're not really clear. If somebody was to ask you, you would be confused. You wouldn't be able to explain it succinctly or even explain anything. You would say, I don't really know what I want, right? And that's okay. We all start off in our own personal growth journey thinking to ourselves, okay, well, I feel like there's more for me in this life, and I don't really know what that is, but I do have this feeling that there's more, and that's a great starting point to be. So just now get clarity. Now choose. Know that you just get to choose. You're the one that can make decisions, and decisions is actually your sense of power is through making decisions. So just decide and just start putting in effort towards things. And if you start to realize maybe partway through that it's not exactly what you want and there's something different or a little bit of a change, just pivot and change to a new direction. And that's totally fine. But sometimes just starting and taking action helps give you clarity. So that would be my suggestion if you're feeling really confused. Just start with anything. What do you think you want? What do you think would be good for you? And then fine tune it as you go. Things will become more clear through action. Okay, so that's what I got for you for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I kept it a little bit shorter than my last couple ones, so that's always hopefully helpful for those of you that feel like you've got lots on the go. If you're listening to this on iTunes or another podcast player, just remember that you can also watch and listen to these episodes on YouTube. So feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which the link for that is in the show notes. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out through email or find me on Instagram at megan.schmidt.coaching. If you want to take this work deeper, join me inside of the Align membership, which is my 12-month personal growth platform that'll help you master your mind and work on the main areas of your life to create the life that you want for yourself that's aligned. And then if you want even more support than that, one-on-one coaching is definitely the place for you to be, where you'll get weekly one-on-one coaching, hypnosis, and access to the full Align membership as well for you to do the homework and modules and all of that are included in there. So thanks for listening. Have an amazing week, and I will chat with you all next week. Take care.